game of Gwent. How about it?
What pretty yellow eyes he has. Alright, everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is going to be a video on the Northern Realms. I did a tutorial on how to play Gwent and what to look for. Here I'm going to delve a little deeper into one of the factions. And just so you know, if you go to playgwent.com, this game has changed quite a bit. The cards you have here are the very basic version of Gwent. They've changed a lot of the mechanics. The core game remains the same, but they've improved the game so much. So I suggest going there to check it out. What we're going to look at is the Northern Realms. And if you're familiar with Hearthstone, you're familiar with hero and hero abilities. Well, in Gwent, there's a difference. You choose a leader. You pick a faction, Northern Realms, Nilfgaardian, Monsters, Soyatel, and then you pick a different leader, and they're all going to be this, like Foltest is the leader of the Northern Realms, King of Temeria, and each one's going to have different abilities. So, for example, the King of Temeria Foltest is pick an impenetrable fog card from your deck and play it instantly. How cool would this be if you could do this with other games where you could just really pick and choose and really pick a strat for how you want to play it. This is when I usually pick the Lord Commander of the North. It gives me clear weather, so it'll give me a chance to clear the board, control the board, take away negative effects, really manipulate the battlefield, which is something I like to do as a control player. The Siege Master is a really cool one. Should I choose to go a DPS build, and I'll build more a Siege Mastery Foltest. This gives me a chance to really hammer in on that strategy and use that ability. The Steel Forged, it gives you a Scorch for his back line, which is really good. And the Son of Metal, it gives you a Scorch for range. So we're going to start with Lord Commander of the North, and we'll look at some of the cards for the Northern Realms. Of course, you see I have a lot of hero cards. Triss, Ciri, and Geralt, of course. This is a Scorch card, a very good card. What Scorch does is if your opponent has a 10 or more value in his front line, this will destroy the highest card in that value. So if he had two 12 cost cards, it would destroy both of them. It's a dominating card. These are just solid infantry people. And then you see some more heroes and spies. Spies, if you watch my How to Play Gwent tutorial, you play that on the opponent's side, but the benefit is you draw two cards. And again, this mechanic has changed in the upcoming September release of Gwent, which everybody's very excited for, including myself. And hopefully I'll be streaming from day one and giving you updates and feed and showing you how to play this game, how to master it. And of course, you have tight bond cards. This one, Blue Stripes, where if you play him, I have 3 of them in the deck. If you play 1, he's 4. If you play 2, both of them are 8. If you play 3, all 3 are 16. It's amazing how they can tight bond. Alright, looking at that. And then we go up to the ranged version of the Northern Realms. Basic range cards. I have 2 Dragon Hunters for tight bond. Not really the best range, but you want to give yourself a little diversity in your deck. Yennefer's there, allows me to get a card from the graveyard, which is very important. Siege, I have pretty good Siege. I also have tight bond with my Siege mechanics, 2 catapults. And of course this, she can recover cards from the back line. So I have pretty good Siege. And that's Northern Realms. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at Northern Realms gameplay, controlling weather effects and using weather effects to our advantage, and how to use them. Here's my weather effects. You see I don't have a lot of torrential rain because I tend to have stronger siege than most people, so I don't want to necessarily run that, but it's good to have it just in case, because with my ability I can then take it away if it becomes a hindrance to me. Alright, and so we are going to start the game, play a game of Northern Realms, and this is going to function as a tutorial as well, how to play. So the Soyatel, they use their perk to go first. I think that's kind of it's an okay perk. Decoy, one of my favorite cards. It's very important to control the board. I want to keep Biting Frost. I want to try to get a Biting Frost, and I want to try to get a Fog, to really control the Soyatel and what they're going to do. They're not going to have any siege units, so they're going to be the front and second line, so we want to try and control that. 2 Blue Stripe Commandos, which is amazing, patterned with the Commander's Horn. That could be very good for us. We're very melee heavy, front row heavy, which is not bad. We don't have very much diversity, which isn't good. So we are in quite a conundrum for our first draw. What do we do here? Biting Frost will hurt us unless we have a hero unit. Let's kind of diversify a little bit. Let's get rid of Zoltan, who is much better in the actual version of Gwent. We get Fog, so that's some control element that'll work really well for us. I would like to try to keep the Scorch. We're gonna see what we get. Okay, we don't have a great hand, so this is what I love about this game. Gwent, you can outplay your opponent. Dandelion. So right there, your opponent's tipping you off. He's gonna put a lot of damage on that front row, and where that comes into importance is we have Biting Frost, Biting Cold, Biting Frost to negate that. So we are going to simply play a ranged unit, because what we're going to try to do is maybe win this. He Scorched. That was a really interesting play. He's trying to clear the way for his you play another range for his units. Northern Rail faction perk is if we win a round, we get to draw a card. We're going to play this game here and see what comes up. We're going to play some tight bonds, see what he does. So see, he changed up his focus there. So we're going to bring that tight bond back for the next round. We're making him play his cards. We're keeping our cards in for the next round. He's passed. This is an interesting gameplay right here. And this is where weather comes into play. I'm going to go ahead and negate his 12 attack, which also negated mine, unfortunately.
I don't understand this game, LOL. I need to win the game for a quest. Lol.
So somebody just joined in the video and said they don't understand the game. So hopefully this will help you learn it. We are going to, if we play another card, we're going to be very, very much down on the next game. So we've got a tough decision to make here. So we are going to win this round here. And so we win. The object of the game is to win two games out of 3. You don't need to win all of them. You just need to win 2 of them. So we draw a card, which we need. We got a decoy back, which is good, which will allow us to get a card back from our side of the board. We start off, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go our heavy front line combo with our tight bond, which will double up our attack. He's getting a card from his graveyard, which is dangerous. So he is already putting 6 damage on his midline. We're going to tight bond, so that'll make those 4s 8s because they'll double each other up. If I had the 3rd card, which I don't, then it would be 16. So he played his Biting Frost. Now this is where my perk can come into play. I'll use my perk to clear the weather and keep my lead. Hopefully he doesn't have 2. He played a big 15-point card. I don't want to play my Scorch yet.
Can you Google the game to learn how to do it?
I didn't quite understand that. I'm sorry. I'm going to double up my attack. He's mustering on the front row. Now, this is where Scorch works really well. So he has 15 points.
Because I don't understand how to play it, LOL.
Okay. Well, this should hopefully teach you. So here we go. So we're going to use Scorch, which is going to take out his 3 5-point units. Watch this. And now we're very much ahead. Played 10. We still should be pretty good. We don't know. There's not too many 15-point cards. So we're going to pass and hopefully we win. Six. So we won. and that's how you do it. That didn't show too much of the gameplay. Really, we just kind of muscled them up. So we'll play another one there to show you how to play it and use tight bond. That gave you an illustration of tight bond, how you play it. We're going to go into more of detail here in a second. So we'll look at the cards and kind of explain how to play Gwent. I have a tutorial on Shifu of the Cards. If you go to my YouTube channel, Shifu of the Cards, how to play Gwent, a tutorial, kind of breaking down how to play, what to do.
How about it?
But the basic point of the game is to try to get more points than your opponent. And how you do that is you play different variations. So we looked at the Northern Realms hero ability of change any weather effects. That's how this deck is built. It's kind of a weather deck. But what I'm going to do is show you the difference when you build it with the Siege Master full test. So you play with that different hero ability. So what that does is it allows me to double my attack of my siege row. It kind of depends. When you do that, you want to make sure that you have enough siege row units to benefit from it. And I do. I have a pretty good amount of siege.
Okay, perfect. I'll check it out. Thanks.
No problem. I have a pretty good amount of siege unit. So that allowed me to take advantage of this. I just got to draw to get the siege units in my hand. So we'll start the game. And this will show you the little different variations inside the Northern Realms and what you can do with their decks. So the first thing we need to do is, let's see, we have one siege, so we got to kind of get better than that. There we got another siege. So we got 3 siege units to kind of play into our strength. We also got a decoy. So should our opponent play a spy, this will allow us to play the spy back on him, assuming it's not legendary. We got a Biting Frost, which is outstanding considering that we are running a 3rd row attack. This will negate his 1st row. We have Doubled Up, which will help, and we have some front row and some siege and a Scorch. So a really outstanding hand for this particular Northern Realms general. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait this out. We don't want to. We want to. Since we have Biting Cold, we don't necessarily. What we're gonna do is we're gonna play this Blue Stripes Commando, which will give us a threat in the front row and allow us to meet him. If he starts to muster in the front row, or he starts playing like he's gonna really heavily commit, then we're gonna change up our strategy a little bit. So we can always take that Blue Stripe Commando back for the next game, or we can kind of push up a little bit on him. So we got a couple different things we can do. We don't want to necessarily. I think we're gonna try to meet him melee heavy, since we have a. You see how they double up. Tight Bond is an amazing card, especially with the Commander's Horn. Man, so annoying. Alright, so he's pumping himself up. The Commander's Horn will not pump up an elite, so you see his 10 is still 10, it doesn't affect it. Now you see those Blue Stripe Commandos, a pretty innocuous card, just a 4 strength, Tight Bond, they become a little stronger. Then you play that and look how strong they are. 32 points in that front row, with just really 3 cards. So he's coming in, he's putting a big range, he's diversifying and putting things around. My Biting Frost really won't help me this game because I have 32 points on that row. He has 24, and he has a hero which basically negates the Biting Frost negative on his side. So I've got to decide what I'm going to do. I could use Scorch and really hurt him, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. This card, what it'll do is I will get the benefit of a double up. It will also destroy his 14 points for a big 28 point swing. And now you see I have just a tremendous lead. I am, and he said, I'll show you. You want to scorch me? I'll scorch you right back. So it's a good game. This shows up a lot of the depth of gameplay here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of let him have this round, or give him the ability to have this round by taking my decoy and playing this card back to give me that scorch back. So it gives him a chance. He's like, okay, well, I'm up 20-0. I'm going to kind of win this. He's playing a revival card, so he's kind of really going in on this one. I don't necessarily have to win this one. I'm set up really well for the next turns. So I am just simply going to pass and let him win this first round. You don't have to win every round. You have to be very strategic and think long term. Like, my ability is to draw a card when I win. I'm already up 1 card going into the next round. This is making up 2 cards. I have a lot of heavy hitters, and my hero ability works well with siege engines. Now he's mustering on the front row. That's good. That's fine with us because we have the answer for that. So we're going to start to try to bait his cards out and see. We're going to play Geralt in the front row. What that'll do is we are tied with him, but because we have Biting Frost, it will negate his side and keep us ahead. So like so. So it's 22 to 15. I pay Biting Frost. It doesn't affect Geralt. And I have pretty much won this round 15 to 4. And as you see, I have 4 cards in hand. He has no cards in hand. And we've won this round 15 to 10. Utilizing weather and strategy and giving him that first round. And look, at the third round comes up, I draw a card. I have a 5 card to nil advantage going into the third round. And at this point, it looks pretty good for us, you could say. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this card, Siege card, give us a tight bond bag, not that we need it. And he has nothing to play. Keep on playing cards. I'll use the faction benefit here to double up attack. And we'll just play here and kind of... this will play the tight bond card. We got bag, blue stripes comes back, doubles up. And you see we won this one 68 to nothing. That is the benefit of showing the synergies of the cards. You know, he won the first one 35 to nothing. We were baiting out cards. The beautiful strategy of this game, the way you can really resource management and build different variations with your deck. You can, if you have the right cards and you play in the right way, you can beat anybody. So what's going to happen is one of the popular games out right now, Hearthstone, and this is not to down them, I love Hearthstone. Pretty much everybody net decks. Everybody copies the new deck, the new meta, whatever. And you just basically
Gwent.
get rolled if you play the wrong deck against the wrong thing, no matter how good you are. And it's RNG. You know, it's just people can play a card and then they're gonna win by random chance. And this one, you're gonna have to outplay your opponent. Now, sure, RNG is a factor in any game, but you're gonna have to. You can beat somebody straight up with your own deck, and if they copy decks, because you outplay them. So I'm really excited about this. I look forward to streaming it full-time basis in September. But let's look at a third option. So we saw the Sunshine Weather deck build of Northern Realms, and unfortunately I can't really drill down at this point because there was no decks you could store. You just had one deck. You change leader, but you see how it changes. There's no need of playing the Steel Forge. He's running a Soyatel deck. They don't run Siege, so that would do no good. We can use this one. We can use Impenetrable Fog from your deck and play it instantly. We have the advantage of knowing it's Soyatel, so they run both. So what we can do here is when we get our card draw, we can go for mostly range and get rid of all the mostly melee and siege and not get any range. I'll show you how. That way, because we have the ability to get fog at any time, which will negate range, we don't want to have range in our. We don't need range in our hand, certainly. We want to have Biting Frost because it gives us 2 tiers of control, especially knowing against Soyatel. You know that they can only attack on 2 tiers, so you can really shut them down pretty well. And I have a bunch of. This is going to be an easy win. Let's see what I want to do. That's perfect. No range, all infantry and catapult, just like I wanted. I have a decoy in case he spies me. I have a commander's. Oh man, nothing really to take here. And if you go to playgwent.com, please do so if you get a chance. They changed all these cards and made them better. Like the legendary cards now are not just simply a high value impervious card. They're now like they have benefits. So he's putting Dandelion on the front row, which means he's probably going to try to stack a front row attack. We're not going to bait into that. We are simply going to play back row. Why are we playing back row? Because we have Biting Cold if he decides to stack the front line. So he scorched it. That's really aggressive for that. So we're gonna just play another one. Not too worried about that. So we're going to let him stack that front row. If he stacks the back row, we have an answer for that as well, of a hero ability. So he's putting some creatures in play. We still have to represent sort of a threat to him. Keep in mind that Biting Frost will not affect our heroes, and if you see, we have heroes that are pretty beefy that would do real well. We're going to put Triss up there just to represent a threat, because we could easily win this one with Biting Frost, depending on what he puts. She puts a 10 at ranged. That's really good. He's diversifying. He's not overcommitting. So that is something we need to watch out for. We are going to use our ability to fog that 10. Shut that 10 down, making him play a card. He played a clear weather card. That's really good. So he's committing that. That was a good play. So he's committing to that. We are going to still just put a 10 there in the front row, trying to get him to play a card in the front row. We want him to muster that front row so we can put Biting Frost down. And so far he's helping us out quite a bit there. We are going to play this very carefully because we don't want to commit all of our cards to the front. So what we're going to do is we're just going to decoy that 6 back to our hand, because we're trying to keep card advantage for the second and third round and make him play. There's the muster we were hoping for in the first round. We patiently waited that out. And now it looks like he's up 64-17. You would think in any case this is a rout. Watch what happens with this. It's 21-17. And we have a 2-card advantage. He's passed because he's just like, oh, this is not good. And it really isn't good for him. We're just going to play a 6-card siege, and we are going to win the first game. We have a 4-3 advantage of card. We're going to draw a card because of the Northern Realms. So we have a 2-card advantage going into the last round, and we have Geralt in hand. So we are looking pretty good. Plus we have a card that will put another card in play. Again, looking really well. And we're going to use that right off the bat. We're going to use hers to siege to bring another siege back into play, because we have a commander's horn, which will double those up. So we're already starting off really well. She's doing the same. She's going to bring a card into play. Probably that 10. Yeah. So it's 11-11. It's looking really good for us. We're going to play the commander's horn in the right row, which would be good. We're now at 22-11. There's 2 cards left. He's playing a lot in that back row, and I think safely we can play Geralt in the front row and put this one out of reach. There's no 19-point card. If he does have Biting Frost, will not affect Geralt, so we end up winning 37-18 by properly utilizing cards and baiting out his cards and using them. And of course we'll just play all our cards, why not? And we will win this one 2-0. So I hope you learned a little about the Northern Realms, different play styles, how they can be used, baiting out opponents, using your decoys properly to keep a card advantage, also to get spies should they use those. It's a very, very good card. Please like and subscribe, Shifu with the Cards. My Twitter, YouTube, Shifu with the Cards, Twitter, Shifu with the Cards, Twitch channel, Shifu with the Cards. Please like and subscribe. It means an awful lot to me. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned.
A game of Gwent.
I'm taking all this guy's money. I feel kind of bad. He's looking at me like, please stop. Please stop playing me. And I won't. I'm going to keep on playing. I like money. Tomorrow, in the next couple of days, we'll be doing a different Gwent deck and look at it. And then we're going to culminate it by taking a look at the cards and how they've changed in our final installment. I think we're going to do about a 5-part series. And look at, this is the first one, Northern Realms. But it's a really great game. You can see the diversity of play styles in it. For example, why would you use Scorch for Siege? Well, that's very simply if you want to run a very heavy infantry and range deck, keeps you from getting crushed by Siege. And there's a lot of other cards coming in the Gwent game that are amazing abilities for the Northern Realms. Thank you all for watching. Long-winded. Have a great day. All right, for everybody.